What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Royal Blu FX. In today's video, we're going to go over some of the trades that we've taken last week. So this is a trade recap video of all the trades we've been taking last week. Unfortunately, my trading view has deleted a lot of the trades from last week, and I've only been able to keep the Friday's trades. Okay, so we're going to go over the Friday's trades that we've taken last week. Also, if you're a new subscriber to this channel, please go ahead and consider subscribing to this channel because we always give out free and valuable content every single week. Okay, so without any further ado, let's begin. First things first, we started with the US30. We only trade the US30 due to the fact that it is very fast and it's there's a lot of volume in the market. Plus, I like trading the open of the US market. So when the US market happens, when it opens up, the market's really quick and fast. So, and we'll talk about that on another time. But as far as all the trades that we've been taking this week, as I mentioned, a lot of the data has been deleted due to the fact that my computer shut down and all that crappy stuff, and so we were only able to trade Friday, or at least have the results for Friday. So typically when we start trading, we're looking at the 15-minute because we're scalpers. We typically scalp all the time. If there's a good trade that we see, we'll typically take it on a longer term, if we see a good setup on the higher time frame. But we started on the 15-minute time frame as our higher time frame. So what I was talking about was we were starting on the 15-minute time frame as our higher time frame, and we work our way all the way down to the 5 seconds time frame as our entry. So we were here at this point in time, right over here. The US30 opens at 4:30 p.m. here at my time in Moscow, Russia. So let's see. Let's go over here, and I'm going to start showing you guys what I was looking for. So we dropped over here, and we quickly analyzed everything on the 15-minute time frame just so we can see what the behavior of the time frame is. Now, we normally start with structure and direction. We utilize both on the higher time frame. It really depends on what we see first on the higher time frame. So if we were to see if we see price bullish like this, right, it's showing a structure, so therefore we are going to look at structure and then work from structure's point of view and wait for prices to retrace to the order block like this, to the demand level, and push prices up like this, right? Another thing is if prices are just bullish like this and it's not really forming any structure, we would see that price is pushing bullish, which is direction, so therefore we would go on the 1-minute time frame and look for order flow and or break of structure on the 1-minute time frame, something like this, right? And then we can capitalize on that 1-minute time frame and go enter on the 5 seconds, capitalize on the order flow, right? So if that makes sense, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So like right now on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that there's order flow pushing bearish like this, and you can clearly see that the direction is pushing bearish. We did end up on an order block here on the 4-hour time frame, which is all the way back here. I don't know if it's necessary to show you guys, but here it is right there. And so we knew this was unmitigated. There's a lot of liquidity, obviously. So prices reached this area. We knew that prices are going to be having to push bullish here. So and then we marked our 2 supply zones here. This one here being the highly probable one that to push bearish here. We also had this one as well over here to push bearish as well, based off of the internal structure. You can see here that we have a high and a low, right? Another high and another low. So my anticipation here as a trader was to see, obviously, is price going to come here to the supply zone and then could push bearish. Now, obviously, we're going to go down here now to the lower time frame, and we're going to see what happened here, so I can quickly explain. Okay, so right down here, quickly, I think it's 1436. Yeah, you can see it right there, right below right here. It says 1436. We always traded the open of the US30. I'm going to get to right here so I can show you guys a little more. Oops, excuse me. Right there. Right there, okay? So let's drop here, and you're going to see what I did over here. We quickly found out more demands over here. We marked our demand areas because this is before 4:30, so we were still looking to trade. But we obviously like to look at the open at the 4:30, so let's drop down to the 15-minute time frame to the 5-second time frame, and I'm going to show you what happened here. So price came over here at 14:30, as you see right over here. 14:30, it came and mitigated this major supply zone, took out all this liquidity, and if you look over here on the 1 minute, you can see why, right? Look right here. we had this high here who was responsible for this break of structure here. So we knew that prices should retrace there, although we didn't have a quick reaction to look for the sell-off over here. So instead, we capitalized on that after the 430 opened. So let's go back down to the 5 seconds. Okay, here's where price tested that supply zone, and once we get down here, it was 430 right here. So we're almost right there. This is 430 right here, okay? And so when price pushed down, obviously my intention was telling myself, okay, I could just start selling it from this major supply zone. But what I was looking for clearly here was some confirmation, right? So we can see that price broke to the highs like this, right? Took out liquidity, so that formed the chalk, right? The first high to be broken, then broke the low right here. So my intentions were to look for confirmation, at least, let alone look for prices to come in, mitigate this high over here, right? And as you see, prices just started going bearish. It started going bearish, and I was like, oh no, how can I catch this supply, right? This bearish move, right? But I didn't fear anything really. It was more of just waiting for market structure to create. So when price pushed bearish, you can see there's that little retracement. Prices pushed bearish again, retraced there. So I could have capitalized on this. I don't know why I didn't look to sell off there, but obviously price went bearish. I was testing to see if price could hold here, and if it did hold, I would look to capitalize more on it. But obviously, since we're on the 5 seconds, everything is so fast, so you have to make your decision quickly and fast on here. If it failed here, I would have looked to sell off from this major supply zone here, because there's that unmitigated order block right there, right? So as you see, prices went bearish, 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 right? We see that there's a high, a low, and another high, and another low. So then what I thought, when I told myself, was that this is right at this point down here. It's 5:35, so it was 5 minutes from this high to this low, all the way down here. So I'm relatively still in the open of the New York session, not at the very beginning, but I'm sorry, not at the open, but at the very beginning. I saw that there was this high here, right, that pushed this low here. So there's bearish, right? You can see that there's high, low, and then this is where I found out that this is my supply zone that was holding, that could hold the next bearish move here. Once we had this tested, I was immediately sold, and I sold it. I was sold on this trade to sell it. I sold it from this high, obviously, to this order block down here, to this major demand zone. So I kept, I controlled my reward here. I was looking to obviously target to make at least 4%, if not 5%. Normally, my minimum is about 5% here, but I took a 4.3% on this one, and I literally just cut out because I knew this price could just, as soon as price taps this supply demand zone, price could just shoot up. So we capitalized on this move very nicely, and then we just let price do whatever from here. Obviously, I wasn't doing much around here. I was doing something else. Let's fast forward over here so I can just show you what we did over here. So we waited to see what price could do here. You can see how price was tapping the supply zone. It didn't go further. So we didn't know whether, we knew that price was at bullish, but it was also bearish as well, based off of this major supply zone here, this supply zone here that broke this low. So, but at the same time, the higher time frame showed us that this is a bullish, this is a demand zone on the higher time frame, the 4 hour. So we just need to be patient, waiting for order flow and structure to create here. And this is how we start capitalizing on a lot of these moves. Let me fast forward here. I see we took another trade down here. I'll explain this one. Okay, so right now we see that there's this supply zone here that was respected. I could have taken that, but I didn't do it because I was somewhere at this time. So let's continue here. I saw that we had a high and a low and a high and a low here. We just broke this low just by a hair right over here, as you can see, right? And so this was the next high that we were looking for prices to respect, right? And then we dropped down quickly in the 5 seconds, and we wanted to wait for some confirmation here before taking this trade. So we waited for price to come back in there like this, right? And then as soon as you know it, we striked here, and then we run this trade before you know it, right? So we're thinking, okay, this is great, this is amazing, right? And then all of a sudden, price just took us out here, just like this, okay? Now I broke even on this trade, and the reason why it took us out is because I saw that we had internal structure here break, right? But at the same time, we were still in our supply zone, right? So when you're in your supplies or demand zones, or when you're coming near or at the supply or demand zones, the trade is likely able to happen or perform good or correctly due to the fact that there's so many buyers and sellers fighting in these positions, right? Trying to capitalize off of the supply and demand zones, right? So obviously I'm going against the buyers over here while I'm selling, right? So in this area here, you can see that the bulls won because they were trying to go bullish here, right? So we broke even on this trade, and that was not a problem. Let's go on the higher time frame here. Here we go. So I could have capitalized on all these moves, right? But again, the seconds time frames are so fast that you need to just be patient and be watching and seeing what's happening. You can't just be buying and selling, impulsively here. So what I did here was, you can see here that I marked out the supply zone, that the supply zone failed, right? So what I was trying to do is capitalize on the flip zone here. You can see that this high over here failed to take out this low, so therefore price just flipped over here, and this is what told me that I'm going to be looking for buys over here. Now I wasn't going to be looking for buys in a long time, on the higher time frame, like right here. I wasn't going to wait for price to break this supply zone, because I knew that we haven't broken this high. This low hasn't yet to break this high, so therefore we are unaware if prices should go bullish, if they should be breaking above this high, right? So what we did was, here we're tracking price on the 1 minute, right? And then we saw what caused this break of structure. As you can see, I put my crosshairs perpendicular to the break of structure right here, right there. We go all the way down and see who broke it. It was this low. So we were just patient on this low here and waited for price to come in, tap that low. So once price tapped that low, I immediately took this buy, because when prices tap and or flip, have the flip zone happen, right? Prices normally come and respect that supply zone and that demand zone, and then you can just literally 99% of the time just strike there at will, and then prices will go in that intended direction, only because prices have failed to break a new low. Like this high here has failed to break this new low, not this one, but the other one, right? Down. Actually, no, yes, it was this one, right? It failed to break this. So that's why we told ourselves, okay, we know we can take this trade safely. So here we just sniped it, right? And we were literally in this trade, and then now just holding the market. Of course, this kind of freaked me out a little bit, and I was like, oh shoot, going bearish. But then again, we have our supply, our risk right here holding. I could have broken even here if I wanted to, but I knew, in hindsight, that price should go up based off of those flip zones, right? A lot of people ask me, if you had one trading strategy, what would you use exactly? And I always said I would always use flips, no matter what. Flip zones are bound to be guaranteed to go in your intended direction whenever you trade them. So we held this this trade, right? We put our supply zone, just testing the supply zone to see if price can hold, if price is holding the supply zone, and if it would break this low over here. If it didn't, we'd still stay in this trade here. All right, so you can see obviously it didn't break, and this is where we ended. This was our high right there. That was the extreme high here, the next high here, and so that's what we were targeting, and that's what we're finished at, a 8.6% reward right there, right? And so that was a good one. So then again, what do we do here? We just waited to see what would happen. Normally, you can see, if you zoom out here, you can see the order flow from low to high, low to high, low to high, right? And we would anticipate that this low would be the next buy over here, right? But we also had other lows and highs within this major low, right? We have the internal structure, we have the minor structure, and then we have what's called the microstructure after that microstructure. So we wanted to understand who was going to control, which structure was going to be controlling the market, right? So we were looking at this low here. I don't have it marked out, but I was looking at this low here to see if it will control it, right? If this is where the bulls will control it, and obviously and evidently you can see that price was broken. So we knew that the micro wasn't controlling it, right? But again, I wasn't looking to buy or sell anything so fast right now. I was just watching what the market was doing. I could have sold here, but didn't do much. Obviously, just kept watching the market. Now over here, you can see I was looking for buys because I marked out, I was at this low, this demand low, low of demand, excuse me, and I could have put a buy limit here and then just held the trade, you know, pushing bullish here, but obviously that would be an aggressive entry. We need a confirmation entry, and you need that that chalk confirmation, right? So once prices did this, right, I could have entered here, right, and I didn't, only because we could see that we had that our minor low, right, and this is a micro low and micro high, micro low, micro high. So you can see that the internal structure of that minor high and minor low was creating what I was typically looking for here, was to see that order flow was bound to be pushing up here. We only have one break of structure right there. Let me get a different pen. One break of structure, and one break of structure doesn't necessarily mean to us that it's a trend. It's a trend yet. What I was waiting for was price to break another high, so that way we can see two breaks of structures like this, and then we can capitalize on this move, right, on this order flow. I obviously want to take the safest and the most highly probable trades here. I'm not just in it just because I want to make some quick cash and then lose the trade, something like this, you see. So this is why I knew that I shouldn't have entered this demand zone, right? Because this is what happens if you enter this demand zone, you are bound to lose it. And this is why I was looking for two breaks of structures, not just one, like right here. You can see that internal structure based off of that minor structure high here, right? We're just we're still watching again, seeing what was happening. If you zoom out here, you can see that there's liquidity that was grabbed here below. Even at this low as well, right? If I extend, actually, yeah, it's right here, excuse me, and right here. And then I marked my supply zone, right, just to see if price would test, and then maybe I could look for a potential sell-off there. Then this is what happened. Prices just broke out of here like this. Watch this. Okay, this is what happened, right? So this is what happened. So I was telling myself, okay, so I see that prices, excuse me, I see that prices are bullish here, and we saw that this low here just grabbed the liquidity from this low here, and we see that there's a one break, second break. So obviously this is telling me that price is bullish, and we were able to take this buy here easily, right? So this is another flip zone. Remember what I said in my other trade, right? When you see flip zones like this one here, they're bound to happen 99% of the time. Unless price is starting to reverse and change direction. So we were able to TP at this one at 7.1%. I don't know why, but I exited right away after this break. Normally I would TP and target this high here, but I had closed right around here at 7.1%, but I could have also chosen to TP this high, the major order block right there, and which would give me another like a 1.5% or so. Okay, so yeah, so we capitalized on this trade, and that was really good. And I believe, yeah, that was on September the 1st, right? So let's fast forward, and you'll see what happened on the other trades that we've taken. Now, obviously, it's a good rule of thumb to always be patient and wait for two breaks of structures in order to show you the true direction. Otherwise, one break of structure doesn't show, direction. It doesn't show direction. It just it doesn't prove anything, right? It could be a liquidity grab as far as we know, right? Let's see if we go forward here. We took some more trades, I believe, or we didn't actually. Nope, that was it. I guess that was it. Yeah, okay. I kept marking out all these areas here, the supply and demand zones, but we didn't take any other trades, unfortunately. And that's where we left off for that. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and hope it was informative somehow to you. And if you really like this video, please throw a huge thumbs like on this video, and definitely consider subscribing on the channel because we always give out free content. Until then, I will see you guys next.